make a recipe. It's not a Pampered Chef recipe. It's actually a recipe that I got in the Weekday Learning Center from the Atascocita United Methodist Church cookbook from 1999. So when I first moved to the area that I'm living in now, I started working at the Weekday Learning Center, and they were selling these cookbooks, and they're all church members that had given recipes. And you know what? Those are always the best recipes. Am I right? Because they're usually like family favorites that have been passed down over the years. So they're usually always really good recipes. Well, there is this one recipe in here. It's just called Jim's Wow, That's Good Chili. And it is from somebody named Jim Van Alstine. Now, I have no idea who Jim is. I've never met Jim, but I have been making his Wow, That's Good Chili since 1999. So I thought I would share the recipe with you. It's a super easy recipe, and my meat-eating family really seems to enjoy it. So, to get started with, I'm going to be using our new enameled cast iron. I'm not going to pick it up because I do have it preheating. It's got some oil in there and it's getting nice and hot. And the first step that I'm going to do is start cooking the meat. So the recipe does say that you can use ground beef, you can use chili beef, chili meat, or stew meat. So I buy the lean cut stew meat, and I just cut it in small little tiny pieces. So small little chunks is all I've done to the stew meat. So I'm gonna add that now to the cast iron, the enameled cast iron. It's our Dutch oven. And that is our newest piece. Yes, Sherilyn, they are the best cookbooks, absolutely. So that's our newest piece that only came out in September, and it is a 6-quart enameled Dutch oven, and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and give my meat a little stir real fast so it's not all on top of each other. Spread it out. And while that's browning, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up the onions and the green pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my trusty onion. And of course, what product am I going to be using for the onions? Yep, it's going to be my manual food processor. So you know what? I wanted to give you guys a quick tip. So this is just a small bowl, one of our small glass mixing bowls with the produce bag. And this is going to be my garbage bowl. You know, from years ago, Rachel Ray always called it a GB, a garbage bowl. And so it's easier if you have just a produce bag that you have left over from your produce in there. This onion is not that good. I'm sorry. It's like half soggy. All right, I don't want to use a soggy onion. So hold on, let me grab another onion. I probably should have maybe checked into that before cutting it. Have no fear, at the Morris home we always have onions, but yeah, that onion, the whole outside of it was kind of brown and mushy. Here we go, this piece is good. Awesome. So hey Stephanie, how are you doing? I am making a recipe called Jim's Wow, That's Good Chili. Now I have no idea who Jim is, but he sure does have a good chili recipe. All right, let me go ahead and get this one cut up as well. So I thought I would go ahead and get a head start with dinner tonight because the chili is going to cook for 2 hours. So I thought I'd go ahead and get it started now. And I'm thinking I'm going to make some cornbread in my air fryer in our little mini skillets. That should be fun. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my onions chopped up. So having a manual food chopper makes this process just so easy. Put all your onions in there. If you watched my videos, you know how often I use this product. All right, let me just grab my little scraper right here, and that's perfect. I'm going to set the lid aside. I'm going to take the blade out, and the next step, I'm going to dice up 1 green bell. How are you doing? I'm sorry, I got a phone call. All right, so let me go ahead and get this green pepper chopped up. I'm actually going to use my quick slice, and I'm going to slice this little bell pepper into some nice even little dices. So for those that have not seen this, I'm going to put it down one direction, slice down, which will give me slices, strips. Whoops, lost one. Grab it. And then I'm just going to put my strips going in the opposite direction, slice down, and look, now I have dices. Look at that, super easy. So I'm just going to add those dices in with my onions. I appear to be throwing things around today. I just lost a few on the floor. All right, so let's get this all diced up. Turn it the other direction. Slice down, and then I have my dices. So I don't know about you, but I don't have knife skills, so for me to dice up something where I have nice even dices, you know, it's just not gonna happen. This just makes it so much easier and quicker. That's what I like, quick and easy cooking. All right, one last little piece. There we go. I'll set this one this way. I lost one piece. Here we go. All right, so now that I have those, I'm going to go ahead and add that to my cooking stew meat. If you're just joining me, I am making some chili, and I'm using some lean cut stew meat that I cut into small little dices. And I'm just going to add my onions to that. Onions and green pepper. Yep. Stir that all around. All right. The next on the agenda is 2 to 3 jalapeno peppers that we're just going to slice up. So I'm just going to take the tops off. I'm going to slice it down the center, and then I'm going to use our corn more to take out all the seeds. So if you don't know what a corn more is, this is the corn more. This is the side, you see the little teeth on there? That's the side that I use to take out all the seeds. This side is supposed to be a melon baller, but I do use it to take out like the seeds out of a cantaloupe or a bigger type of a pepper. So this one, I just run it down like this, and it'll just take the membrane out. I'll show you in just a second. And I'm putting that in my handy dandy little garbage bowl right here. Hey Jennifer, how are you doing? So as you can see, it cleans out your pepper. So if you were going to be making stuffed jalapeno peppers, the corn more is a perfect product for that. All right, one more. Just seating it right in my little garbage bowl over here. It makes life so much easier if you have a little garbage bowl with you while you're cooking. All right, so note to self, Louise, do not touch your face. All right, so now with these, I am just going to cut it up into little strips real fast. I didn't want to use my manual food processor because I didn't want them cut really, really small. I just kind of wanted to leave them in strips like this. You know, it's going to cook down. And then I'm just going to add these straight to my pot with the meat and the onions and the bell pepper cooking. So you can adjust, you know, jalapenos really aren't that spicy. Jalapenos mostly just have that sort of, it just has a different flavor. We don't think they're spicy. I don't know, maybe you guys think they're spicy. All right, these are going in the pot. There we go. I'm gonna give this a big stir. All right. Next is I'm going to get all of the seasonings ready. Let me just give my hands a quick wash just to get some of the jalapeno off. All right, so now I'm going to get all the seasonings ready, and I'm just going to put them in a prep bowl. And the first thing we need is 2 teaspoons of oregano. So let me grab my teaspoon measure. Okay, and I just find it easier to get everything ready right here in the prep bowl, and then take this over there and dump it. So that's the way I'm going to do it today. I need 2 teaspoons of dried basil. And next I need 1½ teaspoons of cumin. That'll give it a nice smoky flavor. 1½ Ah, you love the prep bowls. I do too. You know what? This is another product that I think I use daily. I call it a must-have. All right, we can't have chili without some chili powder, am I right? So we need 1½ teaspoons of chili powder. And the recipe does not call for garlic, but I'm going to add in a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. There we go. And the final seasoning is some salt. It says 3 teaspoons, not salt, sugar, sorry. And salt, but 3 teaspoons of sugar. So let me get the sugar in there. 3 teaspoons. All right, and then we needed a little bit of salt. So let me grab my little salt. My handy dandy little salt thing. I got this on a trip when I was in Brazil. So isn't that cool? So salt, I need 1 teaspoon of salt. There we go. So now we have all of our seasonings ready to go. I'm gonna give them a quick stir and add those to the cooking onions and the meat. Hey Trish, how are you doing? Oh, Trish is making chili too. So you missed the first part. I am making Jim's Wow, That's Good Chili, and it is actually from the Weekday Learning Center's cookbook from 1999. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my seasoning mix in here next. Stir all of that up. All right, and then this is the type of recipe I like. You just dump it. Of course, that's like any chili, right? You just dump it all in the pot. So the next thing we need is it calls for 2 14½ cans of stewed tomatoes. I'm using 1 large can of tomatoes. So I'm gonna add that. Dump it right in there. We need 2 cans of dark red kidney beans. So of course I'm going to be using my smooth edge can opener to get that open. And we don't have to drain these. We just put it straight in there. So for those that don't have our smooth edge can opener, we will have a smooth edge on the lid and on the can. But the best part is there's no debris and food gunk harboring on my can opener. So I will not be transferring the cat food into my beans or whatever. Cat food will not be on here, and there will not be any other types of food that will be left on there harboring all sorts of nasty bacteria. So you have to have a smooth edge can opener. All right, all the way around. Okay, so let me get the beans, there we go. Let me get these beans dumped in. There you go. And this is an interesting ingredient. Let me know in the comments below if you have ever put this in your chili before. It is a can or a bottle, in this case, a bottle of V8 juice, the original V8 juice. So the recipe called for a 48-ounce can. Now remember, this is from 1999. I didn't see a 48-ounce can, but we do have a 46-ounce bottle. Things have changed since 1999, so we'll add the V8 juice to that. You've heard of putting V8 juice in there? Oh, I never knew that. All right. There you go. So that is a little less liquid. So if I needed to at the end, I do have some chicken stock or beef stock or whatever that I could add to it if I needed to. But I think it'd probably work out just fine. The final ingredient that we need is a good squeeze of ketchup. And that is exactly what the recipe says. 1 good squeeze of ketchup. And now I like that for a measurement, right? So here we go. That was a good squeeze. Don't ask me how much that was, and I'm sure everyone's good squeeze is different, but no, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Let me give this a quick stir. And we just put the lid on. I'm going to turn it down to a medium heat. And we just let that cook for 2 hours. So that big giant can of tomatoes that I put in there will break up eventually. And if it doesn't break up during the cooking process, well, heck, you know what I have to break it up with, right? I can't find my other one. I've got a mix and chop. So if it doesn't break down, the tomatoes don't break down in the cooking process, which I'm pretty sure they will, I'll just zap them with my mix and chop. So that's the recipe. Super duper easy, and that is exactly the way I like to cook. Just dump it in one pot and you're done. All right, so I hope you guys will try this recipe because honestly, like I said, I've been making it since 1999. I don't even know who Jim is, but he sure did come up with a great recipe. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Happy cooking!